I had a chat with Jason Withe, who's the coach of Superpower, Samut Prakhan. He just taken on the post about a month or so ago, and I talked with him about his career in Thailand and also Samut Prakhan. And it's interesting his career. He's been here since 1999 and won the league with BC Tero back then. So this is what he had to say about that and his time in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, it was just through my father really. He's just taken over as national coach, and he said the support is fantastic. They'd done quite well in the Asian Games, got through to the semi-final. And he said the stadium was full. There was sort of 80 to 100,000 people in the stadium. He said just fanatical about football really. So it was just an offer that I couldn't refuse, and I just thought I'd come out for 2 years and give it a go really. And first year we just missed out on the championship on goal difference, and the second year we won the championship quite easily really. We only lost one game all season, and was flying really. So 2 years turned into a lot longer than 2 years. It took me a while to adjust to the culture, and I would say that to any coach who comes here, is really adjusted to the culture, because they obviously want your professional outlook on it, and what you bring to the table is what you've learned in your own country or what you've learned on coaching courses and your own experiences. But you've got to adapt to the culture here, and there are certain things that certainly here that you don't do, and certain things that you can try and change or try and influence. So certainly the first sort of 6 months me here was a big culture shock really. I think sometimes you've got to open your mind up and try these things. If you don't come out and give it a go, you'll never know. And it's easy to get to a comfort zone in the UK. Obviously that's where I'm from, so it's easy to get in a comfort zone there, and you just picking up a salary, but you're not actually fulfilling the roles that you want to achieve really. I went back to the UK and sort of struggled to get in as a head coach anywhere, and it's taking those challenges on and embracing them really. And I wouldn't change it for the world. It's all been a learning experiences, learning different cultures, and meeting a host of people, and a lot of friends that I've met.
So that was Jason Withe on his time in Southeast Asia and coming to Thailand way back in 1999. Points to pick up on there on what Jason Withe had to say, Dale.
Well, I can remember it well. I remember when he came, and obviously I remember his father. He talks a lot about his dad there and the success that he had with the national team.
That's right. Of course, his father was the national team coach, Peter Withe, back in that time.
Yeah, that's right. They had a great team then. I mean, I was lucky enough to see Peter's team play, and they were an exciting time to watch. I mean, there are obviously comparisons with the current national team. And obviously Jason came out, as he said, it was his dad was instrumental in getting him the job here, and he was very successful, and I think he was also responsible for bringing Niall Quinn over for a sort of 15-minute cameo for BC Tero back in the day, which was quite a coup, and I can remember it caused a big stir at the time. I mean, that was a huge deal, even though I think he only played for about 15, 20 minutes in one game. But yeah, I mean, Jason's obviously got a long history, and he's been involved in Thai football for a long time. He understands how things work here, which is very important.
Yeah, he's obviously seen a lot of change in the Thai league in the time that he's been here. I can remember. I mean, for me, I just started following the Thai league around 2008. So just 9 years, and it's hardly recognizable since then. I think just looking at the teams themselves, I think the only teams that are still around in the league who were around then I can think of are Thai Port, BC Tero. Who else was there? Who else is still around from those times?
Well,
Chonburi.
You had sort of you had the forces teams, obviously the army, the navy, police, air force. They were all playing in the league, and really, I mean, again, I'm never tired of telling this story, but Chonburi were the club who really changed the way that people perceive Thai football. I mean, being the first provincial team to win the league. It was a huge deal, and I remember going back to Jason's time. It was so difficult trying to follow the Thai league then. There was so little information around. Even though you used to get a live game, I remember we used to have a live game every Saturday, but
on TV.
Bangkok, and it was, you know, you couldn't really identify with any of them.
Yeah.
So I used to follow the national team a lot more closely in those days.
Yeah.
And then when I discovered we had a local side, I started to support them, and I was fortunate enough to be involved as we moved up from the Pro League into the Thai Premier League. And obviously our title winning season in 2007 just completely changed everything.
Yeah, I think that was the beginning.
10 years.
That was the beginning of it. I came just a year later in 2008. I lived in Ayutthaya and followed PEA Ayutthaya back in that time, and I'm a supporter of the Ayutthaya teams since then, Ayutthaya FC in Division 3, and I think it was from 2007 when Chonburi won the league and the first provincial team, and then 2008 there's a bit of a following came in Ayutthaya, pretty strong following, and then 2009 Mungtong got promoted, and with Robert Procura he really raised the level of professionalism in running the club, and Bangkok Glass came in then and also did quite a bit to run a professional club, and it all happened pretty quick, didn't it? Thai Port suddenly got a big fan base, and it was a competitive league just a few years later, and it's really moved on. So for an English speaker, the last few years have really come along in the media as well. I started the Thai League football because I was learning Thai and I couldn't find anything in English. But since then, a lot of people have become involved in the English media for Thai football, with Paul Murphy with ESPN, and quite a few websites for different clubs. So it's we've talked about other things besides Jason Withe, but I think it's all really relevant. What's happened? It's amazing with Thai football.
Yeah, it's changed beyond recognition. I mean, like I say, even when I first started following Thai football, it was difficult to get information even in Thai. You know, the first couple of seasons I was watching Chonburi, we used to have to phone the players up to find when the games were, and quite often they didn't know. So it was difficult. I remember you mentioned ESPN then. I think it might be a slightly different company now, but I can remember way back, like 2006, certainly 2007, when ESPN Star Sports. I used to. I know a local video cameraman, and I used to make tapes and I'd send them to people like Andy Penders and Des Corkill and Julian Tuhig, all these people who were very supportive, even back then, 10, 11 years ago. And Des was commentating on the game tonight, and he's been a big fan of Thai football for a long time. And they always used to feature it, the shows on their networks. So I think they've done a lot, and I think they deserve a lot of credit. You know, they don't always get the recognition, but certainly, you know, I've got a lot of time for Des Corkill, Julian, Andy Penders. You know, these are people who not just in Thailand, but they do a lot for the region as well, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Sure, football purists, you could say, maybe, because there's definitely no glory back in the day with the football in Southeast Asia. So we could hear a little bit more from Jason Withe. We got on to Samut Prakhan, Superpower Samut Prakhan season this year, and the team that he's inherited just a few weeks ago. So this is what he had to say about his move to Superpower Samut Prakhan and the job he's got ahead.
It's a challenge. It certainly is a challenge because the club. You know, I was talking earlier about resources and the players that you've got available. And looking at the position last year, they just managed to avoid relegation, and the remit is survival really. I'd like to change a few players, but I must admit the response from the players has been very positive. They've adjusted to my sort of style of coaching and what I want from them. we've had a few difficult games. Obviously, facing Munton and Birmingham, is not ideal. It told me a lot about the players and sort of the attitude of the players. So it's they're up for the fight, and it is going to be a fight. It is a struggle, I must admit. Well, certainly look at the last game. We lost 1-0, but we created enough chances to win the game. We're just having a bit of a struggle of putting the ball in the back of the net, and it's not so easy sometimes. If we wasn't creating chances to score goals, I think I would be worried. But the worry is we're not actually putting those chances away at this moment in time. And when you're creating chances, and we created more chances than the opposition on the weekend, and we didn't come away with any points. So I felt very disappointed with the players. Really, the work that they put in was they put a good shift in. Really, it's bringing the all my knowledge to the table. Really, it's sometimes we talk about BEC. When I was coaching them, they were a top team. My job was quite easy then. This is a lot more difficult. This is probably the most difficult job that I've actually had. You just got to be realistic of the goals and keep them in perspective of what you've got and what resources you've got. The difficult thing for me coming here is I didn't pick any of the players. I can't change any of the players until the second leg, until the window opens up again. So you're always battling against little things like that, and when you inherited a team, sometimes it's quite difficult, and it takes a little bit of time to adjust to your sort of style and to your sort of tactics that you put together for the team. So we're at that stage now where we're just starting to, I would say, trying to sort of turn a corner. Really.
So that was Jason Withe on Superpower, Samut Prakhan, and just quickly thoughts on what he had to say and their match against Ratchaburi this weekend.
Well, he's absolutely right. I mean, he's got a huge job on his hands, and it is probably the toughest job that he's ever had to do. Although, to be fair, I don't think people are expecting very much. I mean, I'm certainly not. So anything he can achieve will be a bonus. But if anybody can get anything out of him, it's going to be Jason. I think we've said before, he's got the experience, he's got the know-how, and he knows what's what over here. So I wish him luck. I really do, genuinely. He's a nice bloke, and I hope it goes well for him, and he can get some good results.
I wouldn't be surprised if they got something out of the Ratchaburi game. I'll just put that out there, I think, this weekend. We'll see what happens. Okay, any other matches to look at of interest in the next round, Dale? And a quick backstory on what makes them interesting.
Well, we've got Friday night football returning this week. We've got a local derby, Patia against Navy. It'd be interesting to see if Patia can bounce back after their heavy defeat last weekend. And like I say, if Navy adopt the same tactics they did at our place on Saturday, I can see nothing but a 0-0 draw from that game. So probably better if you've got plans for Friday night, I should go out rather than stay in and watching that game. Bangkok United travel to Korat. They must be smarting. The home team will be smarting after their heavy defeat at Supan, and Bangkok United will have their tails up. So I'm seeing a away win in that game.
I'll do my best to make it to that one.
We've mentioned before the Buriram Sisaket. I mean, that has to be a home win, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And then Port Tero. You've already alluded to the fact that Tero sort of slipped under the radar a little bit, and Port hit and miss. So anything could happen in that game, really. I don't think I'm brave enough to predict a result. So we'll see. It'll be an entertaining game, but other than that, I'm not prepared to stick my neck out.
Yeah, just looking at them quickly, I think Chiang Rai and Bangkok Glass is also interesting. Chiang Rai have obviously had a disappointing result last week, and Bangkok Glass have got their tails up at the moment. A third versus fourth. So if Bangkok Glass can get something out of that game, then that might really have an impact on the table.
Yeah, and I think from a football point of view, I don't really want Chiang Rai to go in front, because if they do, we might see a repeat of the last 2 weeks nonsense. and that's
building a bit of an attitude about Chiang Rai United, Dale.
Well, it's disappointing. I mean, we've said that there's all the potential there, and they don't need to do it, and it's just been disappointing to see. And they got their comeuppance. I mean, I'm not the world's biggest Bury Ram fan, but they got their comeuppance last weekend, and it's deserved, to be honest.
Okay, well, Bangkok Glass are more than capable of getting something out of that game, so we'll have to see how that pans out. So, anything else there? Nakhon Ratchasima and Bangkok United, that'd be interesting. 5-1 for Bangkok United, and Nakhon Ratchasima losing 4-0 the previous week, so definitely interesting. So, okay, thank you very much, Dale. And we'll look forward to chatting with you again in our review next week.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks again, and I hope everyone listening enjoys a good weekend of football.